What is up guys, Stark here, and in today's video I am doing a character spotlight, and this one is going to be for the summer version of Kiyohime. So summer Kiyohime is going to switch from a berserker to a lancer class, and she's also going to go from a 3-star to a 4-star servant. And at level 80 she will have 11,870 HP and 8,936 attack. This will rank her 58th overall in HP and 78th overall in attack. Her star weight is going to be 92 and her star gain is going to be 12%, and for her normal phantasm generation it will be 1.05%, and on defense it'll be 4%. So Kiyohime is essentially going to be something of a debuffer servant who has a very powerful noble phantasm. But overall though, I don't really find her that much of a good character. She's kind of like average run-of-the-mill character. But let's go ahead and talk about her skills. Her first skill is going to be the Passionate Summer A, which will reduce all enemies' critical attack chance for 3 turns. So this will be a 30% debuff at level 10 on a 5-turn charge time, which is pretty good, you know, very low cooldown. So it is a pretty good skill overall, but you know, it just has that one effect, which it can be very helpful, but it just feels a little bit lacking. Her second skill is going to be the Bath Transformation A, which will increase her Buster Card effectiveness for 3 turns. Now this one's going to be a good one. Getting a 30% increase at level 10 for 3 turns is going to be fantastic on a 5-turn charge time. So you're not going to have too much downtime in between the end of this skill and being able to use it again. So this one is actually very good, going to help with your damage, and that's always a good thing. And then finally, her third and final skill is going to be the Pursuer of Love A, which will reduce one enemy's defense for 3 turns, as well as increase that enemy's attack by 20% for 3 turns. So this is one of Kiyohime's things that really kind of sucks. You get the decrease to defense, but you also increase their attack. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. I guess, you know, if you're going to kill the enemy with the defense reduction, then increasing their attack is really not going to matter. But it also does have a 5-turn charge time at maximum level, and it'll also be a 30% decrease to the defense. So overall, like I said, she has a pretty solid debuff kit, but it just feels lacking to me. It feels like it could be a little bit more, but overall it's not terrible. Her skills are not terrible. As for her passives though, she does have 2. The first one is going to be the Madness Enhancement EX, which will increase her Buster Card effectiveness by 12%. And the second one is going to be the Magic Resistance D, which will increase her debuff resistance by 12.5%. So looking at her kit, you know, she definitely has a debuff heavy kit. And one of the characters that initially came to mind when I was doing the review and looking at her skills was Kotaro. So he is also a debuffer servant, really. And, you know, you can combo their crit chance down skills to really make sure that you don't get hit with crits, and his Sabotage also does reduce the enemy's attack by 10%, so this kind of offsets Kiyohime's increase to attack by a little bit, so you're not going to be taking too much extra damage on top of that. And he also does have the ability to reduce their debuff resistance, so you could use this, and this will also help with Kiyohime's debuffs. So overall, it's a really good kit. And the one thing that Kiyohime does lack, especially as a Lancer, is evasion and like survivability. And Kotaro can, you know, use his second skill to give Kiyohime evasion for 1 turn. So, you know, overall, I feel like, especially for free to play, this is a very good servant to pair her up with. And then another good character is Mash, just for the fact that she will provide Kiyohime with a lot of survivability. She also does have an attack boost, but Kiyohime doesn't need that as much as her survivability. So being able to get her defense up, and you know, you can have invincibility on her as well, is going to be very helpful to making Kiyohime a usable servant. And then of course for you know, pay to play characters, you have Waver or Merlin. You know, those are the big ones. But another one that is going to be pretty good is going to be Elizabeth. Now they are both Lancers, so you don't necessarily always want to pair these two up together depending on what classes you're going against. But Elizabeth does pair really well with Kiyohime. She pairs really well with any female character really, because of her first skill being able to increase the attack for 3 turns, as well as further increasing attack of female characters. So you're going to get a really good boost into attack if you pair her with any sort of female, and Kiyohime definitely fits the bill for that. And she can definitely make good use of the attack bonuses. And you also do have a debuff for Elizabeth as well, being able to reduce an enemy's defense. So that's going to help as well. You know, you get that damage increase and you have the defense reduction, and you can combo that with Kiyohime as well to get a pretty good amount of debuffs going there. So yeah, pretty good combination there. And you know, obviously, like I said, Merlin is just Merlin. Don't have to talk about him too much. So now moving on to her Ascension. For her first Ascension, she's going to need 4 Lancer pieces and 50,000 Quantum pieces. For her second Ascension, she's going to need 10 Lancer pieces, 6 Octuplet Crystals, and 150,000 Quantum pieces. For her third Ascension, she's going to need 4 Lancer Monuments, 8 Seashells, 3 Black Beast Grease, and 500,000 Quantum pieces. And then finally, for her fourth and final Ascension, she's going to need 10 Lancer Monuments, 5 Black Beast Grease, 6 Lamps of Evil Sealing, and 1.5 million Quantum pieces. And as for her skill enhancements, to max out a skill from 1 to 10, you're going to need 14 Gems of Lancer, 14 Magic Gems of Lancer, 14 Secret Gems of Lancer, 12 Seashells, 12 Octuplet Crystals, 48 Dragon Fangs, 8 Reverse Dragon Scales, 1 Crystallized Lore, and 27,200,000 Quantum pieces. As for the order of leveling up her skills, I would definitely say Bath Transformation is the one you want to prioritize. You know, being her main damage boosting skill, you want to get that up there, leveled up as quickly as possible so you can dish out some damage. After that though, it really can go either way between the 2 debuffs, but I would say go with the Pursuer of Love first and then the Passionate Summer last as far as leveling up her skills. So now we're going to talk about her command card deck and her Noble Phantasm. And for her command card deck, she's going to have 2 Quick, 1 Arts, and 2 Buster. And the hit counts are going to be 2 on the Quick, 2 on the Arts, and 6 on the Buster. And then as well as 5 on the extra attack. So she does have some pretty good hit counts for her extra and her Buster. But she does only have 2 hits on her Quick and Arts, which really does offset her really good Noble Phantasm generation just a little bit, which is a little unfortunate, but hey, what can you do? As for her Noble Phantasm, I'm going to go ahead and show the clip right now, and then I'll be back in a couple seconds after that is all taken care of.
Master, 見ててくださいましね。道場機械108式下流鳴き。
So there we go, guys. That is Summer Kiyohime's Noble Phantasm, and if you guys remember from my top Noble Phantasm list, she was on there. I really do like that Noble Phantasm, but what it actually does is it will deal damage to one enemy, as well as have a 150% chance to seal their skills for 1 turn, and this will also inflict burn on them for 5 turns on the overcharge. So this is a very good Noble Phantasm. Besides the way it looks, it's going to do a ton of damage. It is one of the strongest single target hits for Noble Phantasms in the Lancer class, and you do get some really good effects as well. Being able to burn the enemy and seal the enemy's skills is going to be very helpful. It is a little situational in the fact that they have to actually be using skills in order for it to matter, but there are a lot of different bosses out there that will be able to do that, and you know, you definitely have some good opportunities to make good use of that Noble Phantasm. And this also pairs really well with Kotaro as well, which I previously said. He's also able to stun the enemy's skills, so you could just kind of interchange their Noble Phantasms and just really stun lock that enemy, and they can't use their skills, so it's a really good team combination for debuffs. So as for some of the craft essences you could use, first up is going to be her Maximum Bond Craft Essence, which is going to be the Summer Love Letter, and while equipped, this will increase Buster Card effectiveness of all of your allies by 20%, but it'll also decrease all of their defenses by 10%. Next up, we have the Black Grail, which will increase the Noble Phantasm damage Kiyohime does by 60%, but it will also decrease her HP by 500 every turn. This is going to be a good one, just being able to increase the overall damage of an already powerful Noble Phantasm, so you're just making the stronger, and that's always a good combination to do. Next up, you have the Golden Sumo Boulder Tournament, which will increase your attack by 10%, as well as starting the battle with 30% of your gauge filled. So this is going to be nice to get that attack boost, as well as starting with some of your gauge filled, which will help you get your Noble Phantasm generated just a little bit faster in case you have to use it multiple times in the same fight. And then finally, we have Limited 0 Over for the overall Buster Card effectiveness increase by 25%. So now moving on to her overall rankings. For her stats, she's going to get 4.1 out of 5. For her skills, though, I am only going to give her 3.5 stars out of 5. Like I said, I do feel like her skill set is really lackluster, and it is a little bit situational. She does have a couple debuffs, which are nice, but you know, the critical chance one is, like I said, really lackluster, and the third skill, being able to decrease defense, is nice, but you're also increasing the attack. So, like I said, it's a double-edged sword, but you do have that second skill, which is very good, being able to increase your Buster Card effectiveness. Overall, though, that averaged out to about a 3.5 out of 5 for me. It's not a really fantastic skill set for me. It just doesn't work for me personally. You can do a lot of cool things with it, but yeah, overall, I just wasn't a huge fan of her kit. As for our Null Phantasm, though, she is going to get 4.5 stars. It is very powerful. You can do a ton of damage with it, and like I said, it is one of the strongest in the Lancer class for Null Phantasms. So you're definitely going to be able to get good use out of that, and then if you do combo in her debuffs as well, you could potentially do a lot of damage with this. For her survivability and her versatility, they're both going to get 3.5 stars, so I'll talk about them both comboed together. For her survivability, she doesn't have any survivability at all. She has no defense, no evasion, no healing, none of those defensive skills, so I can't really give her too much. You know, probably could even drop it down to 3 stars, honestly. You know, she's a Lancer with no evasion or defensive capabilities whatsoever. She does have, you know, 4-star stats in HP, so that's kind of why I got that extra half a star. But overall, she really can't defend herself whatsoever. And because of that, that leads into getting 3.5 stars for versatility. She is going to require a lot of support from allies to keep her alive, to help boost her attack, you know, things like that. Yeah, she can't fit onto a whole lot of teams. She has a couple debuffs, so you can throw her onto other teams if they can make good use of it. But really, more often than not, when you make a team with Kiyohime, you're going to have to bring in allies to support her as opposed to the other way around, and that does not make for a very versatile character, so 3.5 stars there. And that will give her overall ranking a 3.8 out of 5. You know, she's definitely not a fantastic servant, but she is a limited servant, and she's pretty cool. Everyone loves Kiyohime, so I'm happy I have her just because of that. But I haven't used her once since I pulled her, and I really don't think I'll be using her too often, which is a shame, but you know, it happens. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. But if you did like this video, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, I have the links below to my Twitter, Twitch, Patreon, and Discord. So thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you guys next time.